they've got another gentleman. It is taken from the film A Gentleman, the movie that releases at the end of this month, Disco. And they've got another gentleman here on Drivetime who is making a comeback after, I think it's been a couple of years since I spoke to him. I can't remember. I'm so happy today. I know there's so many fans that are delighted to have him back here on my show. There's a lot of them that are tuned in. So shall we say hello and welcome back to a friend of Drivetime here. Of course, it is none other than Ashish Chowdhry who is back here on Drive. Hi, Ashish. Welcome back. How you doing?
Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Ashish, it is so good to hear you back and to hear the fact that Dave is doing well here in the UK. It's getting a lot of love, which is on Colours TV at the weekend. So, well done on that. And it has been a long time since we've heard and seen you on screen. So, how does it feel to be coming back?
Well, I know it feels fabulous. It was particularly because I really waited up to do something which was out of the box for TV. Not that it was just because I wasn't getting something good. There were a bunch of things that came in, but I did have to set up a little bit of stuff. Like I was moving home, I moved into a new house, I was setting up a couple of new businesses. So I needed my little me time. And also, of course, I had the right kind of show. I had found something else which took me 6 months to take off, and I guess people would know that, especially my family on Twitter, because I had signed something, it just didn't take off, and it just didn't take off. But I'm so glad it was probably because Dave was somewhere out there waiting up for me.
Mm-hmm. No, because, as you mentioned, family were waiting for some time. They were waiting on 10 Talks for about 6-7 months, because the show obviously was waiting for the right slot, and then Colours was waiting for the right time to launch it. So now it's come on TV. The response has been overwhelming. What are you hearing from fans and from the viewers that have watched the show so far?
Well, what I got really was that the reviews are very good, and I already kind of received my so-called awards because the channel heads were really happy. I got a call from each and every one of them, and that meant the world to me, and especially from the creator. So there's this person, V.R. Sharan, who's the conceptualizer of Dave, and he feels that it's gone, I would hate to just say it, but he feels it's gone beyond what he imagined, and he's happy with it. And that's what I care about, when somebody conceptualizes something, and if they feel you're doing it right, and I love the character, so I love playing Dave, and somehow people like the show altogether. So no negative reviews as such. We still haven't received the TRPs in India, so they come in a couple of days later. This Thursday is when we'll be getting the first week's TRPs. So I've got a call from all the channel heads saying not to worry about it because specifically they're trying to do something different on Indian television, and somebody's got to do it, is what the channel has said. So I'm so glad they believe in the show and they're pushing it in any case.
And also, Ashish, it is different to what Colours' weekend offerings are at the moment, because they've got loads of mythological shows, lots of these, costume dramas that are running. So to kind of break away from that kind of norm, they have launched Dave. So I think that's why it is something different to kind of break up Colours' schedule. How are you feeling?
What I like about Colours is that they made it to the top. They're the #1 channel now, and they've gotten gutsy. They've gotten gutsy because they had certain kind of shows, but what I like about them is after getting to a platform which probably was on top of the list in the channels, they have kind of pushed the bar. They've tried stuff, whether it's their detective shows or the mythos or the so-called regressive shows. They're trying different stuff. That's what I see inside the channel. They're ready to make attempts. And that's why I am the inquisitive one. I don't mind being a part of these attempts. For some reason, I just feel that I'm not here just for the number game on TRPs. I want to be a part of something which probably changes the trend, which probably reinvents. And I needed the reinvention as much as I feel Indian TV needs it, because I'm so stuck with comedy. Like I told you, even the creators of the show, who are kind of happy now, but they told me they were, the channel pushed for me, I think, but they were really thinking that they should not probably put Dave in me because I'm used to comedy and he does comedy really well. So this slotting thing is what I don't like, but somehow this seemed to pop out of the box for me to do something entirely different. And I'm very happy doing so.
But it is quite a mini series, isn't it? A finite series. So is it 26 episodes that it's going to run for? Have you got some kind of final number of episodes that you've already filmed, and how many more we can expect?
Well, it'll be 20 to 26. I really don't know what the final figure is, but it's how the narration of the story goes. It's very important that Dave's personal track, kind of flows well. I have never ever read a script as strong as this one. Of course, execution plays a big role, and acting plays a big role, direction plays a big role. But on scriptural level, I think it's among the best scripts I've read, and especially Dave's personal life. It unfolds slowly with cases, but that's what fascinates me, that how do they manage to write so much stuff in one episode, which does, like binding down a case. Yeah. And that's why it's a little, I would say, for Indian television, it's a little fast-paced, because the case goes on, and, his personal life, and the past flashbacks, the romance, the action, the interactions with the rest of the characters, the 5 principal characters, including me. Yeah. There are 4 more. So their relationships. So it's Shimona, who does Meera. She has a track where they must have, people must have seen in the 4th episode, there was a little bit of paranormal stuff, which, she hears the voices of the babies. Yeah. And it's amazing the amount of stuff they put into them. The writing is so crisp that I'm proud that this kind of stuff is being done on Indian television.
And it is a hard-hitting show, compared to what you've done in the past. So in terms of mentally kind of preparing yourself for this role, was there anything that you had to do to kind of get yourself into Dave's role?
I said this in my press con when it launched, and I don't know whether people have heard it, but I genuinely was into detective shows because I watch a lot of international TV shows, not just English, but even regional languages, including Pakistani shows and Mexican, Spanish, and everything. And I get into, a genre. And I was actually watching Sherlock and The Mentalist and Elementary. So when I get into a genre, I watch those kind of shows. Just when I was into those kind of shows, when I got offered this role. So it's kind of, sometimes you feel something is a calling. It's like I feel TV was a calling for me more than films. Not that films are not something that I would do. I still get, the multi-star kind of film. But it doesn't interest me because of the comedy that I have to keep doing, of course, which I will do again. Mm-hmm. But on television, it's like a kind of a calling where I'm getting to do different stuff, like Khatro Ke Khiladi or playing Raghav Singh and now Dave. And Dave just seemed like it was a calling for me. The timing was just right. My other show, which I signed, just didn't take off. The producers were kind enough to tell me that, Ashish, you can, if you get something better, we won't stop you, but we're taking a while to start. So I could get out of it easily. Okay. And I was watching detective shows, and this is a show that's worked on for 2 years, and there were some really big names that were considered for this role. Okay. I just popped by the office and I said, I'm okay to do a look test. I haven't done a look test in the longest time, but they just the way they were conceptualizing this character, the way they went about casting, it really interested me. So, I was doing a look test after the longest time ever because anyone could see my work. Yeah. So I just thought this is a very interesting bunch of people. I pushed the bar a bit. It came to me. It was kind of a calling.
Oh. Ashish, you know what? I'm going to come to some of the questions from the fans now. There are so many of us, so we're going to have to keep all your answers short as possible. Try to cram in as many as you can. So you need to brace yourself, all right?
Wow, okay.
So the first one here, Melanie wants to know is, what have you learned about yourself playing this role as Dev?
What I've learned is that anything is possible. My career was going in a way that, I just felt like these are the only kind of offers I get. And, many a times actors, within their own, it's really difficult to judge how good or bad we are. Everybody wants to believe that they're good actors. Everyone wants to believe that they can do these kind of roles. Everyone wants to believe that they will get offered this role at some point or the other. But the truth is that you never know. You never know how the outside is looking at you. You never know when you're dipping or when you're, probably not being looked at for certain characters. So, Dave kind of character was something which was, I never even thought I would get, people would see me in that kind of role. I was just thinking that, okay, it's not comedy. Probably I'll be given some action because of Khatro Ke Khiladi. Probably I'll be given some negative, like all out, because I've done it at a couple of, in Speed. But I didn't think there'll be such a complex character which people will think I could play. So I started to believe that, you just continue doing great work. I've said this before. The more I used to think that this is the only way I'll maneuver my career, I used to get, into trouble. Now I've just started accepting stuff out of the box, which probably people won't think I'll be doing, and I'm ready to attempt stuff that I haven't done before.
That's good to break away from the norm. No, that's good. Kalian wants to ask, did this show help you kind of outburst from your inner turmoil or feelings that were bottled up deep down inside your heart? I mean, is this a show that has made you kind of break out from your normal kind of Ashish Chowdhry kind of self?
A lot of people have asked me this question, and especially my makers, because my directors, Alind and Nisar, every time they do an emotional scene, they say that, what's nice is that when your eyes, they say a lot, at the same time you don't know what you're thinking or what you're about to say. So, and I don't know, probably that's the way I've become. I don't know, a lot of people think of their inner turmoil or their past experiences, and they use that as a feeling to do a good scene for emotion. I don't want to connect it that way. I don't want to connect the problems I had in my life to bring about emotion on screen. I don't think the two match. I feel the turmoil of Dave. I live the character from the bottom, and what I really like is when I get into a role, I'm not trying to say I do too much of homework and I'm, like Amir Khan, and I get into everything, though my directors call me, they say, as Emil as Amir Khan, but I'm not like that. But what I like is, I like to know the story of the character right from his birth, where he studied and where he grew up, how many friends he had, and what made him do it. So I know Dave inside out. I knew even though you won't see it on TV, I know he's a forest officer's son. Mm-hmm. He only studied in remote areas. He didn't have friends. He's close to nature. He's close to animals, but he doesn't have social skills. He is not good with people. But at the same time, he was in the army. That's the reason why I have that hideous short haircut, because I got too technical. I said he was in the NDA, though they've not said it, but I know his father, the forest officer father, wanted him to be a soldier, but he didn't want to be a soldier because he didn't want to take commands. He's too arrogant for that. He wanted to give orders, and hence he wanted to become a bodyguard, which he did, which they've shown in the show. Oh. So I go that much into detail. So when I'm doing my scenes, I'm just thinking of the turmoils of Dave, not of my own.
Okay. Ashish, remember, let's try to keep your answers. Just a few words for these, because I'm trying to get as many of these questions as possible from your fans. There's one, Saru, who wants to know, what were your thoughts that were running through your mind when you were shooting the dangerous cliffhanger stunt?
Wow. Sometimes people glorify the stunt they do just to make a great article and just to make it sound like, I've done something big, so let's talk about it in the media. But quite genuinely, they picked it up, obviously, because it was something which wasn't done on television before. Yeah. I said okay to it genuinely because after I've done Khatra Khiladi, people believe I can do anything, and I really didn't think it would have been as bad. When I went onto it, and when you really hang off a building, it was a glass building, I could see the reflection of the entire world behind me. And sometimes even if you fall, you can grip onto a balcony or a pipe in the building, which actually you can't. Yeah. But at least there's some kind of mental security. But this was just a plain glass building, and there was nothing at the bottom. And I have fallen off the cable 3 times before in my career, including, Qayamat, my first movie, when I fell off on the first shot of my movie. So if the cable would have snapped, like they told me it's a cable and it's safe, but I know I've fallen off the cable 3 times. There was a cable that, one of my legs just broke off from the helicopter when I was hanging in Fear Factor. Obviously, that was an error which was made from the crew over there. But we corrected it. But nevertheless, I know cables can kind of snap out. So that mental pressure when you're hanging is there. But when you do it for 4 hours at a stretch and you're doing a 5-minute scene, which comes on air, so 4 or 5 hours of hanging is too tedious because you don't know when you're challenging your luck. It might just fall anytime, and you feel that now just give me one more shot, and don't let me go, don't let me fall, God. So that pressure, and of course all the when you're on that harness for like 4 hours, technically your blood stops flowing, so everything goes numb and pins and needles and stuff. So it was by far the most difficult thing I've done in my life.
Wow. Uma, by the way, you asked, so you're talking about the action scenes. Uma wanted to know, when you do so much action-packed sequences in the show, how long does it take you to shoot one particular episode?
Well, I know sometimes the action may not look like what you see in films, but television is, you have to do stuff like really fast. So, we're doing stuff which is real and on location with very limited time and equipment. And we don't even, I have to run in the same boots that I wear, which I'm not running boots, so there's this time when I start getting a backache because of that. But you have to keep going, because television you can't stop shooting, even if you're hurting. As you must be knowing from all the bahus. If they're fainting, they have to continue shooting. So it's tough. Television, it's not easy to do stunts, and that's the reason why television does not have too much action. But I enjoy every bit of it. And I know Dave, again, like I told you, I live Dave. I know Dave is the kind who would take everything in his own hands, including running after someone when he wants something. So it's exciting. I just keep crossing my fingers for not getting injured because I'm prone to injuries. But unless I don't get injured, I'm ready to do everything. And injuries, I can bear up. I mean, I've got good resilience to pain. But it's just that shooting should not stop, otherwise you won't have anything to put on it. But I just love to keep going, irrespective of what I have and don't have on sets.
Brilliant. Rupa wants to know, you have the opportunity to work with new people in every episode. How would you describe this experience for you?
New people as in co-actors?
Yeah, co-actors, yeah.
I've been fortunate that, whenever I've done any project, I've had a bunch of great friends I've made. I guess because I'm not a very judgmental person also, I just love to have good chemistry and camaraderie with my co-actors, whoever it may be. Even the last show I did, my fans know that there was some kind of, heat between some of the actors, but I got along with everyone because I don't judge anybody, and I enjoy getting along, and I love my work, and outside of it, I just love it for people to remember me for, not being bad to anyone. I think it should just be, you should just make an effort to get along with everyone irrespective of how they are, even if they're troublesome, or irritating to you. The fun is when you get friendship out of anybody, however they are. So that's the nature of mine. So I never have a problem getting along with people, whoever I may act with. But here, it generally turned out to be something where I'll question myself that I haven't made an effort to get along with, and it's been super fun. And especially Shimona, she and me have been bonding like big time, and she turned out to be totally fun, lots of fun. And it's been kind of a whenever we have time, off the scenes, we can have some great fun.
Charu Poo is asking, what is your most favourite and most disliked part of playing Dev? Is there anything that you like and dislike about Dev?
No, there's nothing I don't like about Dev. I'm very excited about playing Dev. And what I'm liking most about it is that people are now on, when I see on the road, whenever I get recognized, wherever I do, people call me Dev. Because I was so used to Rahul initially, because on television before I got into films, 2 of my shows I was called Rahul. Immediately I got into Qayamat, and Qayamat my name was Rahul. So I was Rahul for everyone. Then after that I was Baman with Dhamal. Then I was Raghav Singhania. I don't know why I'm loving it when people are calling me Dev now. So I'm just kind of, because I feel that, look, you make an impact with whatever you do, but you want to put what work is on now. If people know you by your name of the character, and to kind of, I was working with Asrani ji in Dhamal, and I remember him telling me he's done Sholay, and he was so fed up of that Surma Bhopali. He's saying, I've done over 150, 200 movies, and all people do is call me Surma Bhopali. So it kind of gets annoying for an actor when you can't break out of it. Dave has given me a whole, like I said, a reinvention of sorts. And I love that. And there's nothing I don't like about playing Dave, because I love playing Dave.
Wow. Also, there's one more character in the show, the Billy, the kitty cat. There's Kitsy wants to know, how does it feel to be working with Madhubala, as you've named her?
So it was Devanand and Madhubala, because it kind of matches because of the film Devanand and Madhubala have done in their careers. But it was something just a little quirky to name them that. But I've never been a cat guy. I've had a dog as a pet, and I love dogs. I'm a dog guy, if you say, if you talk about keeping pets at home. So I never really thought of having a cat. So I've never ever interacted with cats. Whenever I've seen a cat in friends' house, also it's just how cats are. They don't really come to you and play with you. So I've just seen it from a distance. But this is the first time I had to go interact, be as casual as I am on screen. And I had a great experience, because finally like I said, Dave is a animal lover, and luckily, even though Dave and me have nothing in common, as in Dave and Ashish, but one thing we have in common is I am an animal lover too. So it was fun. Only thing is I was interacting with her for the first time, so she kind of clawed me a few times. But it's cute. Like when you really, it's one of those things, when she's not liking me, and then I manage to make her like me. It's really exciting, and that's what happened in Madhubala. Though we've changed 2 cats, I think the viewers have noticed. One is thinner than the other.
Okay. Ashish, there's last couple of questions here. There's one from Kieran who wants to know, which has been the most turning point, the most kind of significant part in your life, would you say, has been the kind of turning point?
Well, I think turning point of my life obviously was the huge break, that so-called break I got into films. There were two turning points, I feel, career point of view. I mean, of course, in my personal life, I've had some huge turning points as well. But career point of view, it's obviously that whole thing about where you're heading and whether you can hit bullseye. And when you're an actor and when you're growing from, doing really small product ads or catalogs or, B-grade stuff, or, I was a ramp model, I've done everything. So I climbed the ladder step by step after hosting or, hosting for cartoon shows, Disney, then doing ads for smaller and then bigger brands, and the satellite film, I'm questioning about art film, Chalo America. Then when I did a feature film, after doing television again.
Of course, yeah.
That was the turning point where I felt, again, like anything is possible, I felt great. But then again, when I came back into TV, I felt that was the second turning point of my life, because that's when I realized that there's nothing like a target that you've reached and you're there. You can't call anything bullseye, I feel, in life, because you hit bullseye and there's another thing waiting right there for you. I got on television and I realized that films are secondary for me right now, because here I'm enjoying myself as of the moment because I'm getting better roles. I was honest to myself. I didn't look down upon the fact that now I'm doing television. I think why I've got the love also is because I came to TV after a hit movie. I had Double Dhamal as my last movie.
Of course, yep.
Not that, I was not getting successful films or not getting movies, and that's why I came to television. But coming back to TV's turning point, and especially the biggest turning point was having Twamley and the kind of adulation and love that I got from fans who I could interact with, which was something which I never thought an actor could get. I still have Bollywood fans who can't believe that Twamley does this for me.
Ashish, every time I do an interview with you, there's so much love and adulation from all your fans. Your family is one crazy fandom that you've got. You know that? They give you so much love and show you so much love. In fact, there's so many questions that I've received here today. I've not even asked you half of those. You know that? It's been absolutely crazy, Ashish. Quickly before you go, there's one more question. I know it's going to kill me if I don't ask this. She's asking, any Indian historic character that you would like to play that you haven't played so far?
To be honest, historical characters interest me a lot, but I don't see myself playing it. I feel there is a lot of effort I'll have to put to be like them. It's like, okay, mythology, never, because I feel there's too much of justice you have to do to a Shiva if you're playing Shiva. I did get offered something which is on TV right now, but I just say no, because I say that let me do something, other than trying to be a god. It just doesn't relate to me. Maybe someday I could try it when I change my mind about it. Historical characters, yes, it could be great, but the day we have shows like, if it's fantasy, I don't mind, stuff like Vikings and Game of Thrones and all. I'd love to do characters like that, a couple of the lead characters that you have in Game of Thrones, or if it's Ragnar Lothbrok in Vikings, that is my all-time favorite. But on Indian TV, historical, I'm still not ready, because I don't think there's justice done yet. They're not, great period stuff still made, or characters that I can think of that I want to play.
Okay. Ashish, one of our presenters at Sabras Radio messaged me when she found out that I'm interviewing you, and she said, I've just started watching Dev a few days ago. Her name's Deepika, by the way, and Deepika says it's really good, and it helps when the detective is so good looking. So she's obviously referring to you as being good looking, and she's loving the show, right? So that's Deepika from Sabras Radio. She's loving the show. So well done on that. Like I said to you, you're getting lots of love here in the UK for Dev. So, well done.
I have goosebumps while you're saying that. I'll be honest, I'm only human, and I do my best. Fortunately, I'm in a place where I can get that kind of love, and I can never just, rub it, flick it off my shoulder, but just say, okay, it's just adulation that's coming, and I still get a goosebump every time anyone praises my work. And I can just say thanks, because I'm doing my best, and it's them who will keep me going. The day they don't send in this, I think my work will stop.
Ashish, before you go, just a quick quirky one here. This is, out of the three, who would you marry, date, or go to a movie with? Sophie, Mandira, and Rachna.
If I don't say Rachna, the Twamley will kill me. But I would pick Mandra and Sophie. No, how can I do it? They'll kill me if two of them come to me. I think it would be Mandra because she's married and Sam will feel safe with her.
Okay. And also, last question, how many shorts have you bought for the show? Apparently, you've seen a lot of shorts, so how many shorts have you got for the show?
Oh, I've got a bunch of them. So they've got me at least about 10 or 12 of them I picked from on set. And they're my favorite. So I don't think people know that even if I'm doing, like, say, an action scene with their close-ups and that, I'm wearing those shorts. I used to always think that one day if I'll become a newsreader, I'm going to wear a suit, but I'm going to wear shorts down there. Because I hate, feeling all,
clammy.
It's so hot. We're shooting outdoors. We can't use fans. We can't use ACs because it's all sync sound. And it's tough. And outdoors in Bombay is not easy. We don't have sets. We're shooting in real locations without fans and ACs. So sweating like mad. People don't know. In every scene you see me, they're like, my makeup man has quickly wiped that sweat off, which is on my face before I give him the shot. And if I have a retake, it has to be wiped yet again. So we are like sweaty pigs when we shoot. So being in those shots when it's really fun. So, I'm out there solving a case and I'm with these people and I've got my sling bag on. But I've got shorts and I mind my boots because, when you wear those boots, you get that kind of walk. So, yeah, those shorts are doing so well for me. They're my best friends on that show.
Ashish, I just want to say thank you so much. Now, there's been a lot of love from all your fans, all right? I mean, I've not even mentioned half of them. Naga, Ramya, who's listening. There's, of course, Purva. There's a lot of you from your family that all be messaging you to say, hi.
Every name you've taken, Uma, Purva, Anupama, everybody, they're all part of family. I know everyone who you're talking about, and I so knew that they'll be around, and they so much represent the others. They're going to chat about it on Twitter. I'm going to read it. I just want to say one thing to all of them, that pardon me for not being there all the time. Let me explain. I did not get into interaction with social media personally as much before the release, because sometimes it looks like, you're only promoting a show so you'll come back. And I was not there for a while because I didn't have... I just don't want to be on social media because, like how a lot of other actors tell me that, you've got to increase numbers, you should be present on social media, you should interact, put out photos. I'm not there for that. I don't care if my numbers are less, which it is less. I don't care about the number of followers I have. But the core of them should never misunderstand me, the ones who truly love me right from the beginning. They should not feel I'm here only to promote a show. And now, recently, it's been tough to go online because we've been shooting every day, and if you're into, I'm in every scene, and in between scenes, I'm doing the script, and the way I get into the character, I'm only reading lines before we start off. So it's been really hectic, and I don't get in to talk to only like a couple of people, so they've got to pardon me when I come in. I talk to a lot of them because nobody feels left out. I remember there was a fight that happened when I did not interact with everyone. So it's kind of pressure, but I'm there for them. And I like to come in a chunk for them. So I love them and I read everything they write.
There's loads of them. I mean, even Kiran Agarwal just messaged me again saying, please don't forget me. So there's a lot of love for you, Ashish. Keep doing what you're doing in terms of great entertainment for us and, bringing us these absolutely fantastic episodes of Dev every week. We wish you all the best, all right, Ashish? And do keep in touch.
Raj, I also want to tell you that you're a fabulous guy. I see the love that you get from each and every one of them. And I'm so happy with the kind of work you're doing, and you genuinely come across to be as one of the most polite, nice, hardworking people. I'm sorry if I've not been around when you've needed me, but I'll always be there for you. I don't know how that sounds.
Thank you. That's so senti. Thank you so much. And in fact, I'm getting that much love from your family only because of the love that you've given them. So thank you very much. All right. And Ashish, I wish you all the best, and also once again, happy Independence Day to you as well.
Thank you, Raj. Happy Independence Day to you and everyone who's hearing this, and lots of love to everyone back there in the UK. And thank you for liking and downloading my show.
Thanks, Ashish. There you go. That's Ashish Chowdhry. Thank you so much to Ashish. I'm so sorry. We are overrunning a little bit with the interview. And you can listen back to it at sabrasradio.com after 6 p.m. All right. Once again, thanks to Ashish. And I'll be back with some more after this.
The Drive Time show, sponsored by Sony Max. Now available at no extra cost to all Sky TV customers on Sky Channel 798.
राधा की भक्ति, मुरली की मिठास, माखन का स्वाद और गोपियों का रास, इन्हीं सबसे मिलके बनता है जन्माष्टमी का ये पर्व खास।
सबरस रेडियो की तरफ से आप सभी को